Hello, lovely witches. This is Dawn from Aurora Dawn, and I am trying very hard to get this video done, so bear with me. I've tried several times in several different ways, and it's so frustrating. So anyway, bear with me. I'm going to get this done. I really want to get this out to you because I'm going to discuss with you remedies for menopause symptoms. And I think that's pretty important that people share what's working for them. So first off, it's August 19th, 2019, and I want to give a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare practitioner of any sorts whatsoever. Everything I share with you is based on my own experience, my own research, and my interaction with Dr. Jason Bradley. And Jason is a naturopath here in Iowa City, Iowa, and has helped me tremendously through this journey, through menopause. So, and I'm technically considered post-menopause. Okay, so before I get started into these remedies, I want to share with you that the bottom line to all of my symptoms from all of my research and everything that I've gone through, the bottom line, and I'm going to read from my notes, is that estrogen levels drop and wreak havoc in the body. So my goal, more than anything, is to balance my hormones using phytoestrogens. DIM, D-I-M, D as in dog, I, M as in monkey, is a substance found in cruciferous vegetables. In order to get the amount necessary for it to help me, I would have to eat bucket loads of cabbages and broccoli, or should I say, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale. So I don't have time to do that. And I don't think I have room in my stomach to be eating cruciferous vegetables every day, all day long. Okay, so I'm getting a concentrated supplement. It's in the mail. It's coming. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. And there are many kinds of adaptogens, many types. Ashwagandha is one of them. Ginseng, I'm sure you've heard of, is an adaptogen. So adaptogen, adapt, meaning helping your body adapt to stress, and gen, meaning it's phytoestrogen, I believe. I'm guessing at that, just to let you know. Black cohosh, chaste berry, licorice extract, Don Quai, soy isoflavones. So if you've been doing any research on this, you know that those are all very powerful phytoestrogens. I've been taking a product for over a month, about 2 months now, and I don't see a lot of change, so I'm feeling like maybe that I'm not taking enough. I need to still use my pendulum to find out if I need to be taking more. And the company just recently changed their formula, so I want to try it and see, because this company that I get this from, they have their own research scientists. They research their formulas for their supplements and see if they really do work, see if they're really effective, if they've got the right amount of one herb versus another, because they work synergistically, and sometimes you need more of an herb or a nutrient than, like, for instance, calcium. I think the ratio is 1:2, calcium and magnesium. They work together. You have to have both for the calcium to be metabolized into the body. So they have a formula that they put together for magnesium and calcium, and I think K2, vitamin K, so of some sort, I think, is in there, and vitamin D. And they did a lot of research on it to get the right levels of each kind. And then not only that, this is what makes me love this company so much, is that they contact a person who is connects with independent labs. They give this company all of their research information their experiments that they've done so that they can recreate them, and the results that they got from using the products. And they give it to an independent lab. This person finds 3 other labs that are completely independent from USANA. USANA is the name of the company that makes these supplements, and has them tested. So it's third party tested to corroborate and to see if they come up with the same results. That's called peer review. So, and this has happened already with several of their products, and they continue to do that. Also, they are pharmaceutical grade. That does not mean these are pharmaceuticals. I went round and round with somebody who kept thinking these were drugs. They are not drugs. These are all natural products. They are manufactured to the pharmaceutical standard. That means they have to be tested for potency. So when they put it on the label that there's 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C, there is actually 2,000 milligrams in the capsule or the tablet. There's something called food grade. You can have up to 10% less or more of what is on your label. So vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams, can have 10% more or less. And that's because they're not required to do this testing for potency. They can be, and they don't have to be really tight. So in other words, if they have a batch of tablets that they've made of vitamin C and it's supposed to be 1,000 milligrams, and they test it and it's 10% over, they can pass it. If you are pharmaceutical grade and you test your product and you're 10% over, you have to throw it out or redo it, whatever. But it has to be right at the tolerance level is very, very tight. And they also test every batch of raw material that comes in for contamination, for pesticides, for heavy metals. The other thing that is required for pharmaceutical grade is that it dissolves in your stomach within 30 minutes. They test out all of their products to make sure that it dissolves in your stomach within 30 minutes, because if it doesn't dissolve there in your stomach, it's not going to dissolve, because all of your acid in your stomach is neutralized before it passes through any other part of your body. So there isn't any digestive anything, no acid or anything to break down those tablets any further. So it's important that your supplements be clean and healthy. At the very minimum, they need to test to make sure there isn't heavy metals, there isn't contamination, from pesticides and things like that. They need to at least test for that, so your company that you're getting your supplements from they'll have on the label, and this is Facebook that I'm recording this on, and no matter what I do, it always records backwards. So you're not going to be able to read it, but you'll be able to see the symbol right there. It's GMP, good manufacturing processes. I think that's what it is. And it's a certification. Yes, practice. Okay, GMP is good manufacturing practice, and that's a certification, and they have to test for contamination and they need to be a certain standard, but it's not quite as well. Maybe it is. Hold on, let me just read this here. We'll find out. Good manufacturing practices are the practices required in order to conform to the guidelines recommended by agencies that control the authorization and licensing of the manufacture and sale of food and beverages, cosmetics, pharmaceutical products, dietary supplements, and medical devices. These are good regulations that are rolled out by the FDA, and the people who are certified GMP, they are following those guidelines. Okay, so what I said about pharmaceutical grade is basically GMP certified, and I'm not sure if it's as stringent as pharmaceutical grade, but anyway, so there it is. It's good to if that's on the label, I feel more comfortable because I mean they've tested supplements that somebody's gotten from somebody putting it together in their basement, and it's had like sawdust in it and stuff like that. And I just that's crappy. That's really bad. So at least potency guaranteed. At least test for potency and contamination. I've got some supplements that they're third party tested, and that makes me feel a lot better because if the company themselves are testing it and they're saying, "Hey, our products are great," yeah, you're gonna say that they're your products. All right, I'm off. I'm off my notes here. Hang on, let me come back. Okay, so the bottom line is I'm focusing on phytoestrogens, and I do have this DIM product coming in the mail, and I will make other videos to show you how well it's working, let you know. Okay, so let me go through some of these symptoms, and just so you know, I am low estrogen. If you have high estrogen, you have different symptoms, but I believe from everything I've read, both high estrogen or low estrogen can produce hot flashes. And just to, real quick, I made another video. I'm pretty sure I put this in there. I had been without a period for over a year, but I had hot flashes, so I went to the naturopath because it's hormones, and hormones are just so complicated. To me anyway, I don't know. There's so many different forms of estrogen, and they do all sorts of different things, and can't handle it. So I went to naturopath, and he ran a bunch of tests, and he said that my hormones were low and that I needed, for some reason, I don't understand why, but I needed to have one more period, one more menstrual cycle. Okay, so he had me take bioidentical hormones. He says this is going to induce one more period, but you need to get off of them after this happens. And a lot of people are like really into bioidentical hormones, and they take them and they feel great, but there's a high chance of cancer developing. So it's not highly recommended. It's not completely safe. So I'm going to try the phytoestrogens, and if that doesn't correct things, then I'll start looking at bioidentical hormones. But I'm going to try and stay away from them for now. Anyway, so he induced one more cycle, and then after that, no more hot flashes. Holy cow, that was awesome. And I haven't had any since, and it's been 2 years, approximately. Okay, irritability and mood swings, low motivation. These are neurotransmitters that are not being produced properly at proper levels. For me, the dopamine drops, and I do not feel like doing anything. You can't get me to do anything. I don't care. And that's low dopamine. And what I have found to resolve that is coffee. Caffeine in particular, it boosts my dopamine, and that's science. That's been proven. So that's what I use for when I don't have good motivation. Neurotransmitters are made in the gut, and high cortisol can cause issues in the gut. And low estrogen, of course, allows the cortisol to go up. Estrogen has some sort of regulatory kind of thing on cortisol. So when cortisol is high, you get pissed off at everything. You're irritable and you're stressed and easily stressed out. So of course, phytoestrogen throughout all of these is going to be very key, because the phytoestrogen will bring your estrogen up to the proper level. If there's too much estrogen, it'll flush out the excess. If you have bad estrogen, it will block the bad estrogen. So I'm thinking if we've got a lot of bad estrogen from all the pesticides and the plastics and the yada yada, you know, then it's going to take a little while for it to block and flush out, block and flush out. So the bad estrogen has to be flushed out, and then the new bad estrogen needs to be blocked. Okay, so let's move on. Fatigue. This is huge. I was so effing tired. I could not sleep at night, and then during the day I was falling asleep, couldn't stay awake, and it didn't matter if I got a good night's sleep, I still couldn't stay awake during the day. And this is the cortisol. Cortisol goes in a cycle, and it spikes in the morning to help you wake up. So, and then it goes down in the afternoon, and in the evening when you're getting ready to go to bed, it drops so you can fall asleep. It's responsible for getting you up in the morning and helping you dropping down low enough so you can go to sleep. So when it's spiking at 3 in the morning, forget it. You're not going to sleep. If it's dropped at 3 in the afternoon, nap time. And it's messed up because of the low estrogen. The remedy for that would be definitely adaptogens like ashwagandha and ginseng, and there's a whole slew of them. Look them up, look it up on the internet, and you'll find a whole plethora of adaptogens to choose from. And you can use your pendulum to find out which one is best for your body. That'll work best for your body. They all will work, so even if you just grab something off the shelf, it will work. But you may want to go a step further and see which adaptogen will work best for your body, because every body is different. So even though ashwagandha works great for me, it may not work great for you. It may be ginseng is great for you, and ashwagandha is good, but not as great as ginseng. Okay, so it's use your pendulum. Definitely use your pendulum. And food sensitivities is a big thing. That's one of the tests, the blood tests that I took. And you can go to Life Extension, I think it's .com, and they have doctors that will order the whatever kit that you want to. So food sensitivities is one of the things you can buy, purchase, order, and their doctor will order it, because you have to have a doctor to order it. And then the kit comes to you, and it has a spring-loaded blade, and you prick your finger, and then you put the blood on a piece of cardstock that has circles on it. Put your blood here. They can also test your hormones, and what you'll get is a kit that has these little vials, a little plastic vial, and you spit in it. It's gross. It is. I know. It's gross. But it will, when the test is run, it comes back and it shows you what foods you're not supposed to be eating. That'll trigger autoimmune type of response. So if you have an autoimmune disease, you have got to find out what foods you are sensitive to and get off them. Stop eating them. And chances are, if you stop eating those foods you're sensitive to, there's a good chance that it will heal and you can go back to eating those foods again. But test again. If you have an autoimmune disease, you have food sensitivities. There's no way, two ways. There's no way around it, because that is how your autoimmune disease gets triggered, is through eating something you're sensitive to, and then your body goes, we gotta attack. And then while they're, in a frenzy, hey, this thing over here, this thyroid, looks just like this food that's been invading the body. So let's go attack the thyroid now. Or whatever. I mean, it could be the thyroid, it could be something else. Something you can do, use your pendulum. Go get the list of foods that they test for and use your pendulum. Is this something I'm sensitive to? Should I be eating this? Is this for my highest good? And if not, how bad is it? And if you use Letter to Robin, you can program your pendulum or bobber or whatever. There are other devices, by the way. They're really cool. But anyway, so program it. There's a basic program, and then if you go farther to the back of the book, you will find another program for effects. Okay, I found it. It's the conditions program. It's on page 16. So on page 16, there's a program for your pendulum, and down by at the, well, actually it starts at the top. Overview and instructions for over 100 interesting areas to explore on yourself. And when you do this program, you can also take, you know, a bottle of supplements, and what is the level of effects of taking this product. And you're supposed to take 3 tablets. So what is the level of effects of taking 3 tablets of this product a day, this supplement? It's going to give you whether it's, you know, it's okay, or it's really good, or it's really fantastic. You can get, how good is this? So how good is this supplement gonna help me? That's important, and then that's important to know, because some foods you might be a little bit sensitive to, so maybe eating once a week or every other week or something like that is okay, but you want to stay away from those that you're really sensitive to, and hope that your body can heal that, give it time to heal, and so on. So let's move on. Bloating and weight gain. Low estrogen, again, all of these are low estrogen, and the estrogen tends to regulate a lot of things that are going on in your body. So when it's low, everybody's having a party. They're going unchecked. So a bloating and weight gain. One of the things is that you become less sensitive to insulin. So when you eat anything that has, or just a meal, any meal you eat, no matter what, is going to have some sort of sugar response. Some of it's going to turn into sugar. And so when that happens, it triggers the insulin to balance it out, so you don't have too much sugar. Well, if you're not sensitive to it, then, you know, the body's going to pump it out. What's going on? Gotta pump more. What's going on? It's not neutralizing what's happening. What's going on? Pump more, and all that insulin makes you pack on the pounds. Bloating is such a pain in the arse. I look like I'm pregnant sometimes. It's so bad. It's getting worse. It's getting worse as time goes by, and I haven't balanced my hormones. So and I feel like it's an irritation or some sort of what's the word? Inflammation in my colon, and it just seems like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's right in the center of the transverse colon, large intestine, and it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's really uncomfortable, but it's never really painful. But I wonder if I'm on the road to like IBS or Crohn's or something like that. I don't know. I'm afraid to go to a doctor. I'll go to a naturopath. I'm not comfortable with doctors, because they're not trained on how to help your body heal naturally. All they know are drugs. And, you know, stay away from drugs, okay? Right? Stay away from drugs. Unless I am on my deathbed. Something else with the thyroid, which is affected when estrogen drops, because estrogen is part of the hormone communication. So your thyroid is sending out information. Hello, here's some, you know, communication. Be well, be healthy. When estrogen drops, that kind of drops the estrogen seems to be affected. And then when your cortisol goes up, because your estrogen is low, it stresses out the body. Anything that stresses out the body is going to stress out your thyroid. With low thyroid, hypothyroid, or Hashimoto's, you're going to experience something, most likely, not necessarily everybody, but I have experienced, I'll put it that way, where the thyroid is responsible, I'll put it this way, the thyroid is responsible for triggering, it's called peristalsis. and that's just moving the bowels. So bowel movement is triggered by the thyroid. Why? I don't know. I don't know. It's like I said, it's complicated, but there is a nerve that's in the back of your throat that goes all the way down to your colon, and it is the nerve that tells your colon to move. I know it's weird. I know. That's why my eyes glaze over and I go to a naturopath and say, just fix it. Just fix it. Okay. So what I do is I take castor oil, and let me turn my camera around and see right here. This is the castor oil that I take. It's organic, it's hexane free, and that's the important part. It is hexane free because hexane is a chemical that is commonly used to pull the oil out of the castor beans. So it's important that you don't have that chemical in there. They do not use, I think they use cold press. They don't use any chemicals to extract the oil out of the castor beans. So it's safe, okay? Another thing that I use is vitamin C, and I'll show you what I use. Some people, they go, oh, ascorbic acid. Oh my God, that's horrible. That's terrible because GMO corn is made into ascorbic acid. And you know what? I used to get really uptight about all that stuff, but I'm exhausted with trying to find something that's affordable for one, and two, that it complies with all these health nuts that are, that say you got to have this, you can't have that, and it's not organic enough or it's not clean enough, and I'm exhausted. So I'm just going with this ascorbic acid. It works. I do feel a difference, and that's what counts, okay? But it's important that that for me anyway, that it's pharmaceutical grade, and that's what this is. I'll show you. Okay, so this comes from the Now company, and it says pharmaceutical grade. And the reason why I'm turning my camera around to show you is because Facebook is stupid. No matter what I do, it will not reverse, and because I'm using selfie, so I can see myself. And even though I turn it off, and I've tried it with it on, Facebook doesn't turn it around. It makes it mirror image, so you can't read what I hold up to the phone. YouTube is different, but they've changed things, and I can't live stream with my phone anymore. And they're forcing me to download software to live stream from my laptop. So, so that's what I'm doing. I'm turning the phone around. I have a button and I press so you can read it. So what I do with the vitamin C, what I like to do, and it works great, is mix it in with this electrolytes. And I'll show you this. Be careful though. Find out where your tolerance is. For me, it is about half a teaspoon at one time. And I am going to the bathroom within an hour. Gotta go. Stage right? So that's what I use to get my bowels to move. Now, the vitamin C, I need to be taking on a regular basis because vitamin C helps with the circulatory system, which low estrogen affects your heart and your blood vessels and all of that. It makes them vulnerable. So if you have any heart issues, you might feel, through my journey, I have felt heart flutters, and what I call flip-flops, where it goes, the beat, dun 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 dun. It's like a flip-flop. It just like boom, it's weird. It's very weird, and it's unnerving. The other is the heart flutter, which I'm sure you know what that is. It's just da 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 da, and then it goes da 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 da, and it's unnerving. It really is. What I found, if I eat too much sugar, it can make my pulse go up, and sometimes I feel more fluttering. So I take my pulse on a regular basis. I just want to know where it is. And if I eat something that I'm not supposed to, my pulse will go up. And I've read that that's a way of knowing whether you're sensitive, food sensitive to something, is check your pulse after eating it. You can also use your pendulum, so whichever way. And so also eating too much will make my pulse go up. And this has never happened before. This is menopause, right? And I'm sure it's low estrogen that's causing it. So vitamin C reinforces your heart. In fact, many years ago, before statins, before they can make money on statins, they did a lot of studies on heart disease, and they found that heart disease is a vitamin C deficiency. They can't make money off of it, off of telling you to take more vitamin C. All right, so off my soapbox. That's very tempting. Because I can. Our healthcare system is such a mess. All right, so bloating and weight gain. I have found that moving my bowels, getting that cleaned out, is very, very, very helpful in reducing the bloating and uncomfortableness in there. Let's see. Another thing that I do, and I found this off a video from A Place to Heal. She's lovely. She's wonderful. I love her to death. She has basically rescued herself, and I believe she's like an herbalist kind of person now. She was on death's door, and you watch her early videos, she looks like death warmed over, seriously. And then watch one of the later videos, and she's just full of energy, and she's just lively, and it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to show you two more. I got to reverse my phone, so hold on a second. Let's see if I can do this both together. That's going to be tricky. This is a raw, all-natural, unfiltered, uncooked, very important, honey. And this is activated charcoal. It's food grade. That's also very important. The recipe goes like this: a glass of water and a lemon. You squeeze one lemon, fresh lemon, and 1 teaspoon of honey, and about 1/4 teaspoon. She says 1/4 teaspoon. I do a 1/2 teaspoon because I'm not in good shape. So the charcoal, it's activated charcoal. It's going to absorb and pull stuff to it. It's electrically charged. So bad stuff, bacteria, metals, stuff like that, it's going to electrically attract it to the charcoal, and it's going to hold on to it. It's going to clench it. And then the charcoal leaves your bowels and takes all that crap with it. And it really works well. Really works well. So I highly suggest it. So let's see, it's 1 lemon and squeezed into a glass of water, and 1 teaspoon of honey, raw, uncooked honey, because if it's cooked, then all the good stuff is gone. And 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon of charcoal. And it's a powder. Do not leave the cap off because it absorbs stuff. So you want to keep the cap. I put the cap right back on. And then stir. You have to stir at least about a minute to get the honey to dissolve. And then it's like lemonade. Use a straw. I always use a straw for lemons, and curl my tongue up to protect my teeth from the acid, because low estrogen means you're not absorbing minerals very well, so your teeth are going to take a hit. And if you're developing cavities, I have a cavity right now. It's stopped and it's being reversed. It's and the reason why is the electrolytes. I'm taking that every day, and what that does for me is bypass the whole lower intestines. Because my estrogen is low, I'm not absorbing the minerals very well through my intestines. So the electrolytes, this powder that I showed you, allows me to absorb it other places. You can also get, here, let me turn it around. This is mineral oil, magnesium chloride brine, and they call it an oil, but it's not an oil. It's just slippery, and it's minerals that have been soaking in water. It's magnesium. I'm sorry, magnesium soaked in water, so it becomes dissolved, and it's thick, and well, it's not thick, but it's slippery like an oil, and it kind of tingles your skin and might itch a little bit, so it's a little bit irritating, but it absorbs through the skin, and gets into your bloodstream. So that's very important to bypass the intestines, because they're not functioning very well. So the weight gain is happening because of the hormones and the thyroid. So once I get my hormones in better balance, then the thyroid is going to be happier and will function better. And I fully expect the excess poundage, and it seems to be getting bigger, will come off. I'm hoping for that. The other thing is, I mentioned in the other video, is don't exercise. Walk, work in your garden, do light exercises. If you've got an exercise machine of some sort, like a treadmill or something, just go light, and don't push yourself. Don't go too far until you can get your hormones in balance. Then you can push a little bit more, but still keep it at minimum. We'll go on to thyroid. Thyroid, I want to show you a picture. This was, I'll get the date here in a second. So this picture was taken in 2010. That's me. Look how straight my hair was. Now look at it. This is crazy. So that is, that's your thyroid, my thyroid. And it's a little frizzier, you know, yeah. And I do put conditioner in it. In fact, I put conditioner in it and I leave it in. That's my little trick. I leave it in. I don't put it up on top of my head near the scalp. Just from about here down, I put it in, quite a bit of it. And I have a little spray bottle that has essential oils like lavender, geranium, and mix it together, and I shake it and I spray it kind of thick on my hair and comb it in, and that helps to smooth out the frizz. So it makes it shiny. So that's what I do for that. Ashwagandha, or adaptogens, I'll put it that way, and phytoestrogens are going to help your thyroid. There are other complicated supplements for thyroid. You can get actual thyroid from cows and pigs and stuff like that, but it's tricky because it's hormones, and so the FDA really regulates that, and it's hard to get the actual thyroid supplements. I believe Dr. Bradley gets something from Australia, and I think since he's a doctor, I think they let him prescribe it, but you can't just go down to the health food store and get it. So, you know, because it's hormones and can cause some issues, and the FDA, you know, they're trying to protect us. Okay. Tooth decay, tooth sensitivity, gums, hurting gums. I've never had a problem with bleeding gums, so I have not researched that. But when I did start with Dr. Bradley, he had me on a different supplement than what I was taking. It's a multivitamin, and my gums started bleeding, freaking me out. I did not understand that. So he took me off those supplements, put me back on USANA. So I don't understand what happened there. It might have been a sensitivity to something in those supplements. So bleeding gums can be a lot of different things, not necessarily that you have bad bacteria in your mouth. So it could be something else. But if you go to a dentist and get a cavity fixed, he's gonna go over, you gotta brush your teeth like this, you gotta do it this way and that way. No. That's not the answer. It will help. It will definitely help things, but it's not the answer, because the problem is not in your mouth. The problem is down here in your intestines. They're not functioning properly. They're not absorbing minerals. Your minerals are dropping. Or osteoporosis, right? That's from low estrogen. You're not absorbing your minerals. So before you go on to an osteoporosis drug, you want to get a thing of electrolytes and take that every day. Mix it in with your water. I found my fingernails have gotten stronger, and things are better. My teeth are better. They're less sensitive. And sometimes my gums will hurt, and I feel it's because I'm too acidic. So I take the electrolytes, swish it around in my mouth, and that takes the pain away. And definitely swish it around in your mouth, but not with the vitamin C. That's acid, okay? So if you add the vitamin C to this mix, you want to use a straw and protect your teeth. There's another thing you can do with the vitamin C is use baking soda, and I use half baking soda to a whole of vitamin C. So if I use a half a teaspoon of vitamin C, quarter a teaspoon of baking soda, and mix it, it's going to fizz up. It's going to be fizzy, and it's like a club soda. It's kind of refreshing. It's kind of fun. It's fun. Then you put a little lemon in it. Okay. Body odor. Ah! What the hell is this smell? Where the hell is it coming from? I think it's, okay, low estrogen, of course, but I think what happens with low estrogen, and I think low DHEA is also involved, that it leaves the kidneys and the bladder vulnerable to bacteria. And I believe that's what I'm smelling. But it's like all through my body. But during the day, I'll like have a scratch here. And what the hell? My fingers smell. It's just an odd smell. It's not bad. It's just odd. And it's weird. But this is what I use. So this is what I use to remedy body odor. Bragg's organic raw apple cider vinegar. And see at the bottom, with the mother. So what the hell is with the mother, right? What's with the mother? When you make apple cider vinegar, there is a yeast that forms that goes along with the fermentation, assists with the fermentation, and that is like a cloudy, I don't know if you can see it. It usually collects at the bottom. It's like murky, and you can see it's kind of it's not really stringy, but you can see it's together. When you move it around, it kind of moves together, and that's what they call the mother. And you can take that, if you wanted to make apple cider vinegar yourself, you could take that, add it to your apples, and put water in it, and it will help to ferment your apples into apple cider vinegar. But look that up on YouTube or somewhere on the internet to get a recipe and directions how to do that properly. Because if you don't do it right, then it becomes something weird, something else. That happened to me. So, so just say I wasn't paying attention, and it messed it up. So it turned out weird. Okay, so that will take care of your body odor and will help with digestion as well, because it's raw. It has all the enzymes and things like that. Real quick, painful sex. My boyfriend and I use alternative things to be intimate with each other, because it's not going to work. The skin in the vagina becomes thin, and when it's rigid. You know what I mean? It's not as flexible, not as elastic. There you go. Thank you. Not as elastic, so it hurts when it's stretched because there's no give. Coconut oil makes an excellent lubricant. It doesn't foam up like olive oil does. I've also read that some women will take a gel cap of vitamin E and put it up into the vagina at night when they go to bed, and they do that every night, and the vitamin E helps to lubricate and build up elasticity. It just helps with all of that. So that's something else you can try. Ooh, high blood pressure. low estrogen, blood pressure can go up. I would follow, this is me, this is what I do. I follow the EU's measurements, European Union measurement for high blood pressure. Recently, like a couple years ago, in this country, they lowered the numbers for high blood pressure that will make more people have high blood pressure. And there's no agenda, right? We can trust them, right? So when you go to the doctor and he says or she says, the nurse, whoever's doing your blood pressure, says, oh, you got blood pressure. Your blood pressure's too high. If you were in the EU, they would say your blood pressure was fine. All right? So you tell me, is there an agenda? I don't know. I'm skeptical. What I do is the vitamin C. That's one thing, but I also use a breathing technique that I learned from Wim Hoff, Wimhoff. He's from Holland, and he teaches this system that he developed for breathing, and he's broken some incredible records for being able to handle the cold, which I need because I hate the cold, but also oxygenating the body. And so I would highly recommend it whenever my pulse is up too high or a high blood pressure or anything like that. The Wim Hof method, breathing, will bring it back down. It's amazing. This breathing technique will help you fall asleep. If you have trouble falling asleep like I do, that will help. It also helps with the heart flip-flops and flutters. Bladder control issues. This bothers me more than anything, okay? And I've tried Kegels, so no, Kegels don't work. I tried doing Kegels a lot. I drive an hour to work and drive an hour home, okay? My commute is an hour. I did Kegels every day, and it did not help. And it's not full-blown incontinence, but it's, it's enough to be very annoying, and I have to wear a pad all the time. It's like wearing a freaking diaper, but it's just a pad. But what I found is that my research says that low DHEA, which is a hormone, causes incontinence. So again, that drops with estrogen. I know. Cravings, intense cravings. Give me a donut or I will kill you. Ah! These cravings drive my stress up because I'm not hungry really. But I have this incredible craving for something and not a carrot. That can come from your cortisol and from your thyroid, causing you to have these intense cravings. So the enemy right now is insulin not being sensitive, cortisol too high, thyroid going, holy shit, what the hell happened? And all of these are because my estrogen is low. So I feel that bringing the estrogen back up will correct a lot of this. That's what I'm shooting for. Nurturing my own emotional needs goes a long ways. It's huge, and I teach this in my self-mastery for witches course, that you have to be responsible for your own emotional needs. And when I am nurturing my own emotional needs, my stress level comes way down, and I feel good, I feel confident, I feel strong, I feel like I can do this, like I can keep going. And the Wim Hof method of breathing has been tremendous, really has. That and coffee, seriously, coffee. The cravings, the mad cravings, that is from what I said, the thyroid and all that. I drink coffee, I sip on it as long as I can. I try and make it stretch out, and that curbs those cravings, those intense cravings. And then I feel calmer, and I'm able to get more work done and not be so stressed out and freaked out. Okay, so I will leave a whole bunch of stuff down in the description. I think is it description or discussion, or where I tell you about this video. And so I can tell you about all the stuff that I've been doing. I'll make a list and put up like Dr. Axe and Dr. Berg. I follow both of them on YouTube, and they have just a ton of really good information that is very helpful for those of us in menopause. This has been a very interesting journey, and I know a lot of people suffer, so I want to share what I'm doing and what works for me and what helps. Hopefully I can help more people. So I will leave you with that. I gotta run. I know this has been a really long video. I can't tell, but yeah, it doesn't show how long it's been on. But I appreciate you watching this video. I appreciate you being here, and I hope I have inspired you. Do something today that makes you feel good and brings you joy. And until next time, blessed be.